Okay, so this deck right here, I wanted to focus exclusively on the normal pendulum monsters, and there are so many more out than there were last time I made a pendulum normal monster deck, which is great. There's also this really great support cards that were not out back then too, like Painful Decision. This one allows you to search out any level 4 or lower normal monster, as long as you mill a monster of the same name first. So if you want to like search out Dragoons of Draconia, all you have to do is mill one from your deck, and then you can add one to your hand. Kind of like a Rescue Rabbit in that you want to have multiple ones in your deck at the same time. Of course, Rescue Rabbit's in here because you can just bring out 2 from the deck. Unexpected Die, you can special summon 1 from your deck if you control no monsters, which is a game state that you don't have very often since this one spams like crazy. And then you have Summoner's Art, and there's actually like a couple other cards I could have put in here to search out more, but there's like so much search power in this deck that I didn't really... Oops, I accidentally right-clicked something. I'm pretty sure it was a Dark Factory. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to save this. Yeah, super search heavy, very consistent. The only bad thing is you have to worry like if your opponent clears your field and you don't have any backups, or they clear out your pendulum monsters. But other than that, pretty consistent. I wanted to focus mainly on Painful Decision to mill cards in my graveyard. That way I could use Dragon's Mirror and go into First of the Dragons, because he's always fun. I decided I'd do that. I could probably just focus on a whole bunch of different other stuff. There's so many things you can do with this deck. This is like a toolbox deck where the thing I focused on this one was basically just First of the Dragons, but you can also like use it for, I don't know, just straight up normal monsters, because they all have pretty good effects. Like, I think the 2 best ones are Sky Dragoons. If a normal monster inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can destroy a card on the field. And Dragoons, if you destroy a monster by battle, you can add a level 4 or higher normal monster from your deck to your hands. It's a good way to search out. But there's also other ones with neat effects, like this one you can do piercing damage, and I think that's really it for the good effects. Some of the other ones have effects, but they're not as good as Sky Dragoons and Dragoons of Draconia. And then I also have this right here, Tyrant's Throws. It basically just locks your opponent down completely. Not really completely. Basically, with this card out, you just tribute 2 normal monsters, which you can do easily, because when they get tributed, they go to the extra deck, so you can bring them out later, which is great. And your opponent, well, neither player can normal or special summon effect monsters, but they can set them, which isn't really that big of a deal. It's really great to just completely lock your opponent out of special summoning anything. And you can still special summon your monsters from your extra deck all you want. It doesn't really stop your deck that much, other than you can't go into XYZs or bring out First of the Dragons, but you can still go into the rest of your toolbox, no problem. So, great stuff. I also wanted to try out Supply Squad, just because this deck gets destroyed quite a bit with monster destruction. I wanted to see if that would add some consistency to it. Didn't really. Wasn't really needed. I could have just put in some more. I don't know, there's lots more I can do with this deck, but there's just so many things you can do with the Pendulum Normal Monster Toolbox that, yeah. bye.